That's me looking for a celebrity to clone on the most expensive street in the entire world, Rodeo Drive, Beverly Hills. Rodeo Drive is known worldwide as the most expensive street in the entire world. Just standing on the street for an hour, you can see million-dollar cars and celebrities and billionaires going shopping. And I was there to find a celebrity so I could swab their DNA. I first started by going in the most expensive stores searching around. Most celebrities shop at the most high-end stores, so I went to Dior first. Security would not let me come in, so I had to look from far. After searching for a little bit, I found out that there was no celebrities in that store. But I don't give up, so I kept looking. Every single car that was on the street, I peeked inside the window to see if there was a celebrity inside. Just like the Kardashians, most celebrities drive G-Wagons. But there was no one famous in that car. I kept my search going and peeked inside every single nice car's window. I was not leaving the most expensive street in the entire world without swabbing a celebrity's DNA. After 2 hours, I saw some security guards walking. I asked him if they seen a celebrity and he shook his head no. The search continued. As I kept walking, I saw some super nice cars. That's the brand new G-Wagon. That's the Mercedes Maybach truck. After 3 hours, I see this purple BMW pull up, and guess who's in it? Tyla Yaweh, who is a superstar rapper. And he has songs with Post Malone, DaBaby, and a bunch of other megastars. And he would be a perfect clone, so I chased his car down. Thank God I go to the gym because I was running over 10 miles per hour. I was not gonna let this celebrity get away. I needed to figure out how to get his DNA. I kept running at full speeds after his car, praying in my head that he was gonna slow down or park so I can get him. And just like that, I saw him pull into valet. He then exited his vehicle and I had to figure out a way to get his DNA now. He gave his keys to the valet guy and went straight into the Gucci store. I followed him inside. I didn't want him to know what I was doing, so I was extremely cautious. And then unfortunately, the security at the store kicked me out. But that didn't stop me. I waited outside for him. Finally, after 20 minutes, he exited the store. I paid attention to every detail and he finally lit a smoke up. I knew that if I can get that smoke from him, I could clone him using his saliva on the smoke. He then started taking pictures with fans. I was keeping an eye on the smoke in his hand. He then jumped inside his car and closed the door. I was patiently waiting for him to toss the smoke bud, but to my disbelief, he took it inside the car and closed the door. I then jumped in my car and had to follow him. This turned into an absolutely crazy wild goose chase. I was gonna do whatever it took to get that smoke from his hand. He started driving around the whole Beverly Hills, California, and I stayed right behind him. As time was going on, I knew the smoke bud was probably almost done, so he was gonna throw it soon. And finally, he threw the smoke bud. Extremely fast, I jumped out my vehicle. I ran right up to the smoke bud that was on the floor. I used chemical grade tweezers and picked it up. The bud was still moist from his saliva, so I knew I can get a great DNA sample. Using a scientific circular motion, I swabbed the DNA directly up and down the bud. I made sure I had just enough of your DNA so I could take you back to my lab and clone you. After it looked good, I put your DNA Q-tip inside my chemical grade case. I securely fastened the DNA with a cap. I then placed it inside my bulletproof casing for an extra level of protection and drove back to my laboratory so I can fully clone you. Back at my lab, I took your DNA out the chemical grade DNA case using tweezers. I had to be extremely careful so it didn't drop onto the floor. You can see the DNA right there on the Q-tip. I then disinfected the DNA by dipping it in hydrochloric acid. What this does is will fully sterilize the DNA so I could clone it in the lab. I then placed the sterile DNA Q-tip underneath my $20,000 microscope. Here I gave you the view of what it looks like 2000x zoom inside a DNA cell. This is also sped up by 3 times X. You can see it moving right there. It was now time for the cell to be cloned. Took NO67 solution inside my syringe. Once I had 0.7 milliliters of solution, I trickled it into the DNA Q-tip one at a time. Each drop you're seeing is getting closer to cloning you. I then put H3N3 NO6 solution right on top and put it inside my embryonic cell fusion machine, otherly known as the RMX 210, and closed it up. This is you after over 3 months old, and soon I'll have a rap superstar for myself.